Thanks for clicking that mouse button, and welcome back to the interview with Mike Barnes. Mike Barnes is the councillor for Stoke South. We're going to talk about the elected mayor system now and the demise of the elected mayor system, and then we're going to talk about Mike's aspirations, if he's got those aspirations to become the next council leader. So Mike, tell us about your part in democracy for Stoke, because that was an interesting time in this city, because the electorate in the city decided to turn their backs on the elected mayor system, and it was after a massive campaign by an organisation that you are connected with. Tell us about that.
Well, I first was part of actually the formation of Democracy for Stoke in 2001, and we launched the campaign then to stop Mike Wolf's campaign to bring elected mayors in. And when we lost that at the time, because I was so passionate about what it meant for democracy, I nearly walked away from politics in 2001 actually. I was convinced at the time that I'd got a place to carry on as a councillor and do things and actually challenge Mike Wolf because he was an independent. So I did carry on, and then we came to the point where we knew legally, obviously, we could challenge that through the system, and the government were debating it at the time as well about what they were going to do. So we decided to launch the campaign. Because we felt there was a lot of people on the street that weren't happy with the system, and so we launched the campaign, and we got a lot of support in terms of what we were pushing forward, and I'm just pleased. I'm pleased with the result. I mean, it was never personal, and I know some people think that it was personal, but for me, it was always about the democracy side, because I was there right from the beginning in 2001 when they first brought the idea of elected mayors.
What did you feel was wrong with the elected mayor system? What was it about the elected mayor system that you thought this is wrong for this city?
Because I felt that it centralised decisions more than count. No system's perfect, and I'm not trying to say that the system we have in place now is perfect, but I think because it's more about local councillors coming together and hopefully working together to make decisions, that people are more represented. Like from Longton South, if we're discussing housing, then at least I've got a vote. I can put my point of view across on behalf of my residents and constituents, and then the vote's taken, and it's much more of a consensus about decision making rather than it being in one person's hands. And I think it's centralised and distanced that decision making.
So it was more of a frustration thing on your part that you wanted to represent your constituents, but yeah, your representation was limited in how far you could take it along.
But it was more than about me, because it was about democracy for everybody else, making sure that everybody's got the opportunity, no matter what background they come from. It doesn't cost a lot to put your name forward to be a councillor. So everybody in the community's got the opportunity to do that, and that's what it was about for myself and my children in the future.
So the city answered the question: do we want an elected mayor? And 19% of the electorate turned out and said no. So did you feel a sense of elation at that result? Was it like really sort of winning a big election? How did you feel about it?
I got mixed feelings. I mean, obviously I was very pleased. I was very pleased with the result. But I have to say, I take no pleasure in it, because I always knew at the end of the day to mean that somebody was going to lose a job. And there was 2 people lost a job. Obviously, Mark's got to go now in June, and he'd got a personal assistant. I suppose there was always that in the background, thinking what that meant, and give Mark his credit in terms of how he's taken that result, because there is other people in the country that have took the bat and ball home because elected mayor issues. And Mark stuck with it, and he's got a firm commitment to carry on as he is, and I think he deserves all the credit for that, the way he's handled it, bringing forward a budget and so on, and not just getting rid of the EMB and saying, stuff you till June, well, do what I want. He does deserve credit in the way that he's handled it.
So the elected mayor system is now gone, and that's led about the leader and cabinet system. And it's the councillors that will decide amongst themselves who leads this city until probably 2011. Some say it could be 2010, but probably 2011. What do you think that you could bring to a leader position should you decide that you want to really go for this. What do you think the Mike Bonds can bring to the table as leader of Stoke-on-Trent?
That's a big if. If I got the opportunity, and obviously there's a lot can happen between now and June. What I want to try and do is I understand that we're fragmented in the council, and we've got different concerns, and we come at things from different perspectives. But actually, when you look at outside the full council meeting, you look at some of the other ways councillors work, there is a lot more in common between us. And what I want to see is where the council works much more closely together, where we know we've got common agreement, push forward with ideas. But obviously, where we've got differences, then we have the debates about those, because I think that we've got ourselves in a position at the moment where we oppose things for our position's sake, and I think there's much more we can do to come together and drive forward where we agree, and have much better debates where we disagree.
You're a strong character. I've observed many council meetings now, and you really do want to get to your feet and put your point of view across. And you know, a lot of your frustration and a lot of your anger sometimes is vented towards the BMP's benches. I've seen you take, you know, opposition against them many times. Why is it that you're so focused on what is wrong with the BMP? Is it because it is so far diverse from the politics that you believe in?
I find people that judge other people for whatever reason, because of the birth, you know, what's happened at birth or whatever, where they come from, to judge people in that way, I find abhorrent. And you know, because I feel that you know, we all discriminate and are discriminated against in some way, whether it's, you know, even within the city. People, you know, you might come from a different area or a different background, and other people will discriminate against you because you come from, you know, from different parts of the city. And I've felt some of that in the past, so I know what it's like. And I probably discriminate, you know, judge, but I don't like it, and I think it's not the way forward. I think the only way that we can move the city forward is together. And I see a person, not whether they, you know, what colour their skin is, where they come from, or what sexuality they are. Everybody's a person at the end of the day, and that's really what I fight for. That's why I'm so focused on the BMP.
The way the political system is in Stoke-on-Trent, of course, you're going to need the support of other parties to become a leader. Anybody is, whether you're an independent, whether you're BMP, whether you're Labour, or Tory even, you're going to need the support of other parties. What can Mike Barnes do to bring that support about from other parties that will make them councillors think Mike Barnes is worth a bet here?
I think if I get the opportunity, I can bring... a lot of people know me through the experience that they've had of me, that I do speak from the heart and passionate, and I think they see an honesty in some of that sometimes, because I don't always toe the line just for the sake of it. I say what I say. What you see is what you get with me, and I think that has, in some respects, even outside my own party. So.